about today?
Cheers to true luxury.
Cheers to true luxury. So I got a nice beer. You're drinking just straight Jack Daniels, right?
Tea.
Close. All right, you want to start us off? Because I didn't do my homework.
True luxury. I was thinking how we've grown so much since being adults. And like the idea that when you become an adult, the things that you think you're going to want and the things that you think are the best, now I realize is like poor people mentality.
You mean as far as like once you're self-sustaining or you have a career, money-wise, time-wise, you're in control, like the things that you thought you wanted to, or like at one point you were interested in and you wanted, and now you can see that that's not it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and once you like get past those few horrific years of like 18 to 24, 25, even though you're 20, for me, it was, you are 25. Well, it took me...
Everybody matures at different rates.
Yeah. But on average, those horrible adult years of 18 to 25 where you are on your own, but you are figuring out what kind of life you want, and you spend your money on the worst things, stupidest things, and now just realizing, like, what we're building towards and the new lifestyle. And even like imagine you got dropped $1 million in your bank right now. How would you choose a luxurious life now
versus how you would have if it happened to you at 19?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead, ladies first. Start us off.
Okay, I definitely thought about like a few years ago, I would spend crazy amounts of money on like designer clothes, raid Sephora, get like all the makeup, perfume, all the things that make me want to like freak out and shrivel up now because chemicals. What I would do if I got just money dropped in my bank tonight, right now, I would fill my entire closet with all natural material clothing, which are not like luxury brands. Like we're not talking Chanel bags and Chanel outfits, Prada dresses.
Yeah.
I wouldn't probably get anything like that. I would spend it all on like linen clothes, 100% organic cotton. Every single thing in my closet would be completely natural, probably silk. And those things are expensive, but not compared to designer. Like, they're like, I mean, the cotton, I mean, you can get a like sweat set for like $100, but like silk would be like $200. It's like not that expensive, but like I think that is true luxury, being able to like get the highest quality, healthy materials. Not highest quality because there's a brand name that people view as luxury, but it's really just like the same manufacturer as like Zara.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, that makes sense, but for me, as far as the clothes go, I never was one that was into designer stuff because I've always known it's just, you're paying for the logo, just like people you see that buy like the cheapest second-hand, third-hand, seventh-hand Mercedes off of Craigslist that has 400,000 miles and dents and dings all over it, but it's got the logo, so, you know, they could take pictures while we're sitting in the parked car and look like we're wealthy. I've always been like the same way when it comes to designer clothes and stuff, so that was never a thing for me. So I can't really say, I mean...
I think what you just said, though, that kind of speaks to all of it. Like, everything now that I would buy, that I now know is, like, real luxury, has nothing to do with the way other people would see me.
Yeah, that's like, usually what most people end up getting sold on. Is like,
probably
it's status. It connects directly to status.
be viewed as like, oh, that girl's so rich. If I got $100 million, I had like crazy money.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you the things I would buy, if you knew, like the house would be updated with all natural materials, real stone, real wood. All the furniture would be like from the earth.
Yeah.
No chemical like coatings and stuff.
Sell the cars, get covered wagons, stuff like that. Yeah.
No, but it's like you wouldn't see me walking down the street and be like decked out. That person has a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it has to do with like caring more about
how it affects your
how
body.
I feel.
Yeah.
And less about what others view.
Well, yeah, because that's
as.
all luxury clothing and all that kind of stuff is. It's a status thing. It's so people can look at you and you have the appearance of the most wealth and whatnot. The first thing I could think of for me, just thinking back to that age, 18, 19, 20, my biggest thing at that point, before I got this place, even when I had this place, was probably the truck.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had, money at that time, it's the same kind of mindset. It's all status thing. I would have bought a newer truck. I would have, instead of spending 10, 15 grand on wheels and tires and exhaust and all this, lift and blah, 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 I would have, bought the newest version of it, and I would have got the most expensive lift kit, and I would have got actual forged wheels instead of the cast wheels, and I would have gotten 16 wides instead of 14s, and I would but it's all the same thing. It's all part of status. It's all, I like it, just like you might like, at that time, luxury clothes. Like, I would like it sitting in my driveway, but it was more so for people driving by or passing people on the road or being out with your friends, and, people see you and your buddies hanging out in it. It's all kind of the same deal. It's all status. You're trying to have the appearance of, in your mind, what you picture being wealth, and all it is just trying to appease to people that don't matter at all. Like, their opinion doesn't matter. Not they don't matter, but their opinions don't really matter. I don't care about their opinion. They don't care about my opinion. But yet we're all in this kind of rat race of trying to impress people you're never going to see beyond 3 seconds you see them standing on a corner. So I would probably say that would be the one I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. I also think about, like, probably we would do, like, some dumb trips of, like, you take all your friends to Vegas or, like, something, or Disneyland, or, like, some of these, and now I think of these locations as, like, that's a poor person vacation. It
is, yeah.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
All these, like, amusement...
Don't get me started on cruises.
Cruises, amusement parks, places that are, like, big cities, Vegas.
Yeah.
I think those are, like, poor people trips, and
we've all done them.
I'm not into them
We've all been
anymore.
there.
Like, I feel poor when I am around, because, like, you just look around. The type of people that are there, like, is there anyone that you look up to, that you admire? I mean, I guess a lot of people do. Like, I don't know. Like, that's kind of my barometer now. Is that a word? Barometer?
Barometer's a word, yeah. I don't know if it's for that, but I see what you're saying. No, yeah, because we've touched on that before, like the boys' trips and the girls' trips and stuff like that. And, if you're into that, who cares? But that kind of, to me, falls in the same category of, like, just dumb stuff I would have spent money on. Oh, we're gonna go to Mexico this weekend. We're gonna go to Cabo. We're gonna go do this.
And every single thing would be surrounding drinking.
Drinking and just staying at the resort. Like, you're not going out and experiencing the culture. You're not meeting new people like that. I mean, the only people you're meeting is the hotel staff and maybe another college kid you're trying to fuck at some point on your trip. Like, other than that, like, you're not. It's not like if you were to go to, like, Thailand and you're, like, actually you're going to go on this waterfall trip and you're going to go do this and go do that. It's like you're doing like the easiest version of that. So you're not like getting much culture. You're kind of just doing what everybody does on spring break. You know, we all go to, you know, wherever, anywhere like that, any of those like common places. And I mean, there's a lot worse things you can do with your time and money. I'm not saying you're, you know, a sad sack of shit if you go do that, but it's just, at that point in life, that would have been cool. If I had the money to do it, it'd be like, yes, we're going to go there. We're going to do this. And now it's like, if I spend all this time and money going on a trip, I want to go somewhere where I can experience the culture and I can, you know, embed myself in that. That seems, to me, like there's more wealth and intelligence that goes into that. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think about this a lot because when I think back to like my childhood and when I was like young, I thought that like when I have my own family, like I really hope I have enough money. Like I want to take my kids to Disneyland. I want to take them because I loved like amusement parks, all the things that I loved as a kid. Like I now see that I don't want that type of lifestyle for my family at all. Like I don't want to do amusement parks. I don't want to do like those type of family things, like we save up for the year to like do this for the kids, and it's like I don't know. I don't want to. I want to like.
It seems very white trash to me. I don't know.
Yeah, like it just the wealth is gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like live as the person that I want to be, and I don't know. I just think those experiences are not it.
Yeah, no, there's an element missing there for sure. To me, it's the same thing as going on a cruise. Like, why I despise it so much. It's like if you want to go do something that doesn't require any thinking, any planning, any hard work, any intellectual depth to it, anything that you have to make decisions and there's a risk to it. Like, we might get lost and I'm driving on the wrong side of the road and I don't know the language. Like, it takes all the guesswork, all the thinking, everything. You're just like, you can't even pick what you're having for dinner. It's like someone else picks for you. Someone else picks the music. Someone else picks the entertainment.
There's no like exploring a new place.
No, there's not.
It's just handed to you.
And to me, that's what kind of embodies the wealth and the luxury now, is like going and experiencing a completely different culture and immersing yourself in something that is challenging. Like challenging yourself to talk and look in the eyes to another human being on the other side of the planet and figure out how to order a fucking sandwich. Like, to me, that's a challenge. That's an experience I would want to take my kids to see. Like, this is a human being right here. We have to learn. We're putting ourselves in their culture now. We're putting ourselves around them. We're going to learn how they talk, how they act, how they conduct themselves in society. And to me now, that's what I would spend money on. That's what my picture in my mind of what wealth and luxury is. But I'm trying to think, what else, other dumb stuff would I have thought was like, a lot of it does have to do with a lot of the trips, like the classic, you know, as we get older, as soon as I'm 21, me and all the homies are going to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I went to Vegas multiple times. I went to Tahoe multiple times. I went to and Tahoe's like, these places can be great. Maybe not Vegas, but Tahoe, like we go now and it's just different. But if you go to like South Lake and just go to the casinos, like it's just a different experience.
Yeah.
And you're sick the whole time because all you do is drink and eat terribly. It's
well, yeah,
just, like,
we've gone to
not
Tahoe
worth
since
the
then.
money.
But, you know, we go there for the day, go to the beach, go to the, you know, go hike somewhere, go to, you know, some, like, where was that place we went before? The last time, the wine place.
I don't know what it's
like
called.
a wine bar or whatever. I can't. Tahoe Wine Collective, I think.
Yeah.
But like you go there and do different things like that. If you're just going there it's the same idea as going to Vegas. If you're going to Tahoe just to spend your weekend at Harrah's or something like that, it's like you may as well have gone to Reno or Vegas or, you know, anything like that, because you're doing the same thing but just with a different background. Mm-hmm. You're not going and doing anything fun. It's all around getting hammered and just staying within these four walls, and it's just, there's no culture to it. There's not, it's just, I don't know, to me it's lazy.
I think everything now, when I think of wealth, it has to do with health and nature. And
Yeah.
that is 0% what I thought. Growing up, I thought it was all like material.
Yeah, for sure. That's what everyone, we're programmed to think that, especially in this country. Yeah, it's like that's
Health and
because
nature.
it all has to do with status. It all has to do
Mhm.
with, you know, just keeping up with everyone around you and having the appearance of doing well. And like, yeah, it's like, oh, the next door neighbors, they took their 3 kids to Disneyland. If I don't, then I'm gonna look like a bad parent, and I gotta do what they did. You know.
Yeah, that's part of it.
My phone ringing over there.
Yes.
Of course it is. I hope that's not too disruptive. What else can you think of?
You know how you would know that I had fuck you money?
Hmm.
If you, well, the house will be remodeled with the way we talk about. We would have like a vineyard in the backyard, the hugest greenhouse, all those things. But the way you would know for real, we would go into our kitchen. You'd open up a pantry door. Every single herb would be there in like a cute little like hand-painted ceramic container with like the little spoon. Every single herb you could think of, I would have it fresh from like a really good source. That's how you know that I really made it.
Okay.
What about you?
I haven't really thought this far in advance.
I feel like you would have an underground, like you would drill like a underground tunnel under a house and have a wine making room, and you would have like a wine cellar underground with like the most natural wine.
That's a good one, yeah.
I feel like that's what you would do.
I mean, because long term that would be ideal, is to have a cellar. So maybe, yeah, that'd be part of it. I think a lot of it is like, comes around like travel, you know, and just being able to not do what most of people have to do. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that would agree that like the definition of, yeah, he's interesting. Hunchback of Notre Dame over here hanging out. No, it'd probably be like not having to wait till you had the money and the time off of work and all this kind of stuff to be able to go places that you wanted to go. Just being able to, at the drop of the hat, be like, no, let's take 4 days and go to Huntington Beach, you know, whatever. Like being able to take time and do something like that.
So like freedom.
Yeah, the freedom to move around as you wish, like,
And not work slave hours.
yeah, and not have to like seek approval from other people and get permission to be able to have the time to do what you want with your life, you know. And yeah, it's not even necessarily about having millions and millions of dollars, but yeah, just being able to not have to conform to the same rules and patience and saving and all that kind of stuff that most of society, at least here in this country, have to abide by to be able to take their 2 kids once a year to go do their one trip, you know. So, to me, I think that would be a lot of it. Not having to go to the store for any food.
Yeah, because we grow it all.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest thing.
Or we have neighbors that we source a lot of that stuff from.
Yeah, having neighbors who have like cows for like meat, but then we would also have a cow for like our own milk.
Yeah.
And with milk, you can make, now I do this, but you can make everything. You can make cheese, yogurt, ice cream, so many things.
Yeah.
And having a garden big enough that we grow every single thing we'd ever want, and a lot of herbs too.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest thing. Make our own olive oil with olive trees. I really want to do that. These are all things that like we hope to do, like building the homestead.
Well, I mean, we've already accomplished a lot of it. We're working in that direction to like.
Yeah.
to be able to like 100%. It's going to take a lot, but we're definitely on the right track.
I just wonder the switch, because if you would have met me in college and told me that I'm like into homesteading and into like, I don't know, even probably gardening.
You weren't even into that when I met you.
I know. So it's like, what happened? Where's the switch? I think, obviously, we've talked about this a bit, but once you start like connecting with yourself, getting out of like the system and getting out of the training.
The social norms and expectations.
But that's what made me realize that like I don't want to grow up and take my kids to the county fair or even take my kids to Disneyland and be like, look at us, look what
we've made it.
Yeah, I just think that's like
most
just
people
not
can't take
it.
their kids here until you guys are older. I was able to take 3 babies here, so I'm doing better than everybody else.
And growing up, I was so structured, like in sports. I was like, my kids need to be even better than me at sports. I'm going to put them in dance, figure skating, gymnastics, cheerleading.
Just going to run them into the ground.
And they're going to do music. Like, everything I wished I could do, I was like, they're going to be in it. And now I don't agree with that at all. I want them to do all those things, but at home. Like, I want to have a dance studio at home. I can teach them gymnastics. You could teach them music. We could go on YouTube and do dance videos and learn from teachers there. Like, everything should be at home, and they should just be like free and exploring. And that should be the main entertainment. And then on like occasionally, if we want to go on hikes, if we want to do a day trip and go on the lake, like those are like real like luxury things. Like, I'm not interested in being like, let's take our kid to the county fair so they can get cotton candy and funnel cake and go on these rides. Like, I loved going on rides when I was a kid, and now it's just like our bodies shouldn't even move that fast.
No.
Like, we shouldn't even be driving cars, but like we do enough as it is. We don't need to like do those type of events just to feel alive because you're so like chemicaled up.
Yeah, that's like I don't know, because I mean, I know like I've talked to several people that like it's been like a thing, like they like the whatever county fair that has been in their town forever, like it's like the thing to do, like, and they've been doing it year after year, and like all their friends used to get dropped off there when they were in middle school, and now they're back there. They went year after year, and now they're married with their kids, and they're going back, and they're having their kids. It's like,
in our town we had the Corn Fest, and it was like a huge deal. We all went to
that's not the move at all.
You know, my biggest story in my book where I tell my teaching experience, the biggest story that I told where like I was scared for my life because I was getting clay sculptures chucked all over the room, everything ripped off, every desk in the room flipped over. A student was like raging, and it was like actually very scary. The speed at which he was throwing these like sculptures that we made, everyone was like just ducking, and it was terrifying. The reason why that happened, did I ever tell you, is because everyone had gone to the county fair.
Yeah, I think you did tell me this.
All the kids had gone to the county fair the night before, and they all saw each other, so they were all like, I saw so, they were all so excited, loved it. This kid freaked out because that was the last day the fair was in town, and he went, but he somehow just started raging because of the red 40, probably saying like, yelling at me. And when I was letting them all enjoy their conversation of like, I saw so and so. He just flipped out and said, "You shut down the fair!" You like screaming at me that I shut down the county fair.
That makes sense.
And that's why the room got trashed and people got assaulted.
So he believes you personally went in there and
closed it down.
Closed the fair
Even
down.
though it
said, you know what, these kids are having too much fun out here. This is unacceptable.
It had the dates of when they were in town. That was the last day. But it's just tough because kids love that type of stuff. I did too. But it's just a different way of living that
it's not a lifestyle that I want to be a part of.
I don't want to be a part of that at all. And I don't think our kids will feel like deprived because they're not even going to know that is even an option.
Well, and then the other goal is that they spend so much time doing all the other things, traveling and learning and experiencing so many different things. Like, I mean, I know you're not super keyed up on it, but like when we go to Paris, I want to go see the catacombs. It's like one of the things. Like,
I just think that's such a touristy thing.
I don't think so.
And it's like so much negative energy.
Technically,
I
going to
think.
Paris as a whole is a very touristy thing.
And that's what
So-
I know. We're just doing it for the one time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, you can come back home and your kids aren't going to feel bad because they didn't make it to the fucking corn festival this year. They're going to, you know, see their 3 friends that live on the same street as them or whatever, and they're going to talk to them. And like, where were you at? We all were at the county fair, whatever. It's like, oh, well, you know, I was in Paris last weekend, or, you know, I went to Yellowstone or something like that, instead of like these small little empty these empty experiences. And like, it's different. Like, you go somewhere, you learn about something, you take something away from it. Like, I remember like one of the coolest things that I did when I was a kid was we went to the Grand Canyon. And it was cool because I didn't like, when I went back to school, it's like not everybody had been to the Grand Canyon. I mean, people didn't even know what state it was in. Like, oh yeah, the Grand Canyon, that's in like West Virginia, right? Like, oh yeah, for sure, dude. No, it's not. And it was like, not like, I didn't feel like I was better than anybody, but like when other kids were talking about over summer, their family took them to Disneyland, or they went, you know, somewhere stupid like that. I went to Six Flags 4 times. Like, that ain't nothing, dude. I saw a giant hole in the ground.
Did you really feel that way? You didn't feel like left out not going to Disneyland?
No, not really. Well, because I grew up not watching, like, the only Disney we had was, like, the books. Like, we didn't, my parents to this day still obviously don't have a TV or anything. So, like, I never watched Disney movies. I was never into it. But, like, the Six Flags thing and stuff, like, we had done that a couple times when I was a kid. But, like, I didn't feel like I was better than anybody because I had done it. But, like, I went there and learned something. And then also, like, we stopped and we saw, like, this old, like, Native American, like, these... like basically a whole community built into this cliffside. Went and saw that, and we learned all about the tribe and all this. And like, so when I come back to school and these kids are talking about they all went to 15 pool parties at Devin's house, it's like, that sounds stupid. I don't care about that. Like,
Wow.
I learned something. Like, I didn't feel like I got left out. I didn't be like, oh, I'm not cool. Like, if I would have come back and spent all summer doing nothing at all, and trying to keep up with them and like try to go to all the pool parties and try to go to the birthday parties and try to go to the bowling alley with everybody, and it just didn't happen, then I would come back and feel bad like I got left out. But instead, I went on a vacation and saw and learned all this stuff. So when I came back, it's like I came back with some knowledge. You guys came back with a bunch of drama. Like, you know.
I think, though, that's really rare. Like, I think I would have felt left out. I always felt like I was trying to keep up and be the coolest. But
Yeah.
I think that is why
Well, that's also...
we aren't going to have our kids go in public school, so it's going to be a
Yeah, there's a different element
experience.
there.
That's why I'm not concerned about it.
But yeah, that was... well, because that's also different because you were able to like watch those movies and stuff like you knew what Disney was. Like,
I just don't.
I was
know.
kind of cut off from that part. Like, there was already a lot of social stuff that I couldn't do because of the
Yeah.
religious aspect. So like, I would feel 10 times worse if like the one thing that I could have done, like I could have gone to Six Flags with these kids and I got left out. Then I would feel like an idiot. I would feel like I sucked. But it's like, I don't know, just going and experiencing something that most people didn't or didn't even know about until they were probably going to be 25. I don't know. It made me just more comfortable in my own skin. Just, you know, as far as the social norms go, you know,
Yeah.
maybe not feel left out. And like I said, it's not like I felt better than anyone, but it's like I didn't feel left out. So like I did something very cool too, you know.
That's cool.
So
I don't know if it was movies that made me feel that way, but I always felt like I had to be. Like,
well, I don't think it was just the movies. I think it's like the social norms of like you were allowed to do things that I was never allowed to do. Like, you know, like I could barely even have friends that didn't go to church as well. So, but if you're part of all those social norms, I could definitely see why you'd feel left out if, you know, you couldn't make it to the birthday party that was at the carnival or whatever. You know, I could see how that would make sense.
Yeah. I just think those are like not a good use of anyone's time, even kids. So if they're not in environments where that's like the cool thing, then I
Yeah.
think that they'll do a lot better.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's what what I'm trying to say in a way, I guess. It's like 'cause I wasn't part of like. I never thought it was cool to go on a family vacation on a cruise. I never thought it was cool because like it was something we were never gonna do. So like I didn't feel like we
You
were.
didn't feel it. See, I feel like everything I couldn't do was like I wanted that more, and I was like mad at my parents if they're not rich enough to let us do this
Yeah.
cool thing that other people get to do. It's weird.
Well,
you
because
didn't
ours
have
was
that.
always explained to us like I'm not saying it was correct, but at least from my perspective, I was also a kid, so I highly doubt my parents actually said any of this stuff. But the way it was like explained, it was just like that's basically something that like mouth breathers do. Like that's something that like losers are doing. Like we don't do that because these people they're going nowhere. They're living for the next baseball game that they can go to. That's what they want to do. You know, you're better than that. Like you don't need to settle for these like little things to look forward to. Like you know, going to all these different events and going to. I hate keep bringing it up, but like the Disneyland thing, like it was never like we were all just like, yeah, that's what like, you know, people that can't think for themselves, that's what they do. So like when we experience
Even
something
though
that
you're in a religion where you
Yeah.
can't think for yourself.
yeah, even though you're like yeah, so it's very confusing. But as far as the social aspect of it, like when it came to like real life, I think that's one thing that did help out, and that's hopefully our goal is to not subject our kids to the social norms of being in a public school setting where they're trying to keep up with all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that did help me out a lot. Obviously, the rest of it kind of crippled me in a way. But
You know,
as far as that
thing-
part, it helped a lot.
Another thing though that is true luxury. I think like obviously not really having Wi-Fi or a TV is like a positive. We don't have
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
We don't have cable. We don't have any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
but the couple things we have, like for an occasional like Netflix or for like school, watching YouTube, learning dance on YouTube, to be able
Yeah.
to purchase where there's no ads at all.
Yeah.
Because if kids are not seeing ads, they're going to be a lot better because the ads are propaganda and they're
Big
brainwashing
time.
all these kids.
Yeah.
Like really bad. They're like, I've told you a million times how when I was a teacher, I would just be in the middle of teaching and the whole class, one kid would like start singing like one of the jingles for the fast food restaurants. And then the whole class would just all sing it. And it's like, they think this is like a fun, catchy song, but it's really because they've just heard it so much.
Yeah.
Now it's brainwashed them to just be so normalized that everyone knows it. It's normal to eat that. It's like targeted to kids.
Have you seen the one about Starbucks?
No.
Starbucks is like one of the only brands as far as like fast food or whatever you want to call it, chain multi-million-dollar companies, billion-dollar whatever, that doesn't have a jingle.
Yeah, they don't.
You want to know why? I can't remember the name of the whatever they call it, the goddess or whatever. But the lady in the
she's a
Starbucks logo,
mermaid.
yeah, she's a mermaid, but it's like old Greek mythology. She was basically someone that like her presence would like lure sailors and stuff to her, and then she would like seduce them, and then they would die. Like they were. No one obviously knows if it was true or not. I don't think it was actually true, but it was like old Greek mythology, I think. But it's basically like her presence alone is enough to seduce you and bring you in. So they don't like you'll never hear a Starbucks jingle. Like like McDonald's has their fucking classic one. Everyone knows it. But Starbucks doesn't have one. When you walk in their establishment, you'll never hear that going. When you see a Starbucks advertisement, you'll never hear a specific jingle at all because that logo is enough to it just kind of puts the shutters down over people's eyes. It just kind of pulls the wool over and just seduces you. And like so now like no one can even tell you specifically what about like everyone knows Starbucks is not the best. Anyone who thinks Starbucks has the best hot chocolate, they got the best coffee, they got the best frappuccinos, No one actually thinks that. Everyone knows of a small town place, or their grandma made them this once. Everyone knows their bagels suck. Everyone knows their food's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, you see their logo and you're like, familiar face, I trust them.
Well, I think that's what it is. They've become just everywhere, and
Yeah.
they're playing that game of if it becomes normalized, you're
Yeah.
comfortable there.
No one could tell you specifically one thing about Starbucks that is so good.
You even told me that story of someone that you were with at work, and like they won't eat anything unless if they're like they know what it is. So it has to be like a recognizable chain place, or else they don't trust it.
Yeah.
And that's so backwards, because those
Mhm.
chain places are the ones that are the most detrimental for your health.
There's a guy we were working somewhere at all. He ate like McDonald's like 3 days in a row, and that was 3 days in a row. He ate McDonald's like 3 times in like 48 hours, and they were all like truck stops. Then he like got like a Subway sandwich, and we were in Reno, I think, or something like that, and we were at like, I don't remember. We were wandering somewhere, and I saw like a restaurant that looked good. I was like, oh, they don't want to try this out. It was clearly like a one little small place. I looked into it, looked good, and he's like, nah, I'm just gonna go hit like Taco Bell or something like that. It's like, bro, come have like an actual good meal. And he's like, I've never seen this place before. I don't trust it. It's like, okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, for sure. I'll enjoy your bowel movements later, dude. But yeah, it's so backwards.
Yeah.
We've gone off topic once again, but
Yeah, I don't know what led here, but I think
the social norms.
yeah, in like honestly, real luxury is being able to purchase the best quality meat from somewhere close by, because it is expensive. Like to find
very
a
expensive.
farm that is doing things right, it's
Yeah.
expensive. And as much as it's like, oh, just get some chickens, it's so easy. Like it really has been a lot. Like the chickens are pretty easy, but also they rip up the lawn.
They rip the lawn up. They shit everywhere.
It is a lot, and then it leads into like, oh, I want to have more garden beds so we can grow more things. Like, and then you have to buy the wood. Like, it does become
Yeah.
very expensive.
Well, then we got the dogs too, so you have to juggle both of those because you can't really leave them. Thanks to Kodiak's behavior, you can't really leave them unattended together. So you got to be on top of that. So you got to be trying to babysit the both of them, and it's a constant upkeep. It's not as easy as it sounds on paper.
And it's not as
It's worth it.
expensive.
It's not. Yeah, no. It's definitely not as inexpensive as people make it seem like it is.
because it's like, oh, free eggs now. You don't have to buy eggs, but it's like,
Their food's not cheap, and you got to buy a lot of it all the time.
yeah, and it's like they're foraging, but you have to buy them worms, because when they're foraging in our like what half acre, quarter acre
Backyard.
they don't find enough.
No.
It's like to be really wealthy is to be able to be self-sustaining and not rely on like grocery stores,
Yeah.
PG&E, even to have water that's poisoned, like to have all your own things. Like, it's like self-sustaining.
Well, like the neighbor back there that's got like a triple reverse osmosis system. He's got 2 extra wells on his property. One's for another house he has way on the back end of the property. One is for just his lawn, and he splits off of that, and it's for his house. And he's got, yeah, like I said, like a massive reverse osmosis system. So like he's still getting the same kind of water that we're getting, but he's got his own wells. Like he has the option to tee in here, get river water, and he doesn't. He's got his own deal.
Yeah.
And so just like stuff like that, to where when the power goes out, you don't have to worry about anything. You got everything from solar to massive backup generators that have like all these batteries on it. So power goes out here for anyone else, they're all pumping their gas generators and trying to get everything going. And with maybe half a second, power goes out, boom, clicks right back on. He's running off an electric generator. And I mean, down to like he's got trees cleared around his property to where when it starts getting windy and stuff, he's got 2 acres cleared around his house. And so there's nothing taking down anything. He's already got half of his power lines underground. Like that kind of like self-sustaining, where you don't have to think. You just kind of, you have it set up and you're good
More
to go.
like you don't have to rely on.
You don't have to rely on
the
anyone
government
else. Yeah, you don't
or-
have to rely on any of that.
Yeah.
Don't have to rely on it's small town government,
Or
big government.
and trust like they're taking care of us.
Yeah.
Because they're not.
The power's going out. PG&E's going to be here in 15 minutes to look at it. It's like, I don't need any of that. I don't need you guys to look at nothing. Everything's good. We got everything under control here. So yeah, getting to a place like that, that's the ultimate like luxury at that point. It's just not having to rely on anyone or anything. So
Freedom.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Just like the chicken screaming for freedom every morning. I'm sorry, I lock you up so you don't get eaten by a bobcat. They can't think for themselves. But, well, is that a wrap?
Yeah.
That's all we can think of?
Do you feel wealthy?
You know, I'm getting there. I feel a lot better than I did.
Yeah, me too. I never felt more like a degenerate poor person than when I was like drinking every day, running around the streets. So I think that's the ultimate. You've gone off course. You're focused on the wrong things.
Your priorities are a little bit off, but yeah.
Once you start realizing that like nature is true abundance, like anyone can go on a walk and look at how many leaves, individual leaves are there. That's wealth. That's abundance, and anyone can see it. It's available for everyone.
Yeah.
So all types of abundance are available for you.
Very true. How bad do you want to be a part of the Matrix or not?
Yeah. Cheers to true luxury.
Cheers to it.